Americans are shelling out more cash for goods than they have in nearly 6 years. This while the country remains the only advanced economy with a struggling labor participation rate. We've got to find out how this makes sense. It's also not over yet for Greece. The country's creditors prepping a massive settlement, but no one knows if it'll work. And if you ever thought there was no way the products at Whole Foods could be so expensive, you might have been onto something. All right, let's close out the markets this week. The editor for the Financial Intelligence Report here at Newsmax, Jeff Yastine, joins us on MidPoint. All right, Jeff, how'd we do today and how'd we do for the week?
Kind of a mixed board today. We have the Dow up 57 points. The S&P finished unchanged. We have the NASDAQ losing 24 points. So everybody's just sort of in a holding pattern, waiting to see how this situation with Greece pans out over the weekend.
All right, so let's go ahead and just talk about Greece here then real quickly. The creditors are offering a $17 billion package to end the standoff. Look, Jeff, it seems like every minute this thing changes. 1 minute they're going to go for it. The next minute, everybody is willing to let them just fail. Where are we at this stage?
It does seem like it's coming down to the wire. From what the economists and others that I'm talking to and reading are saying is that basically if there's no deal by Saturday, then in Greece, in the least, we'll start seeing capital controls, things that keep money from coming out of the bank or leaving the country. It's still possible, given the fact that these guys are in some ways making up the rules as they go along regarding these deadlines and what have you. It's still possible, I think, to have some sort of a deal. They'll figure out a way. If not, it'll be a good excuse, I think, for Wall Street to sell some stocks come Monday. But whether that's somehow a really huge punch in the gut for the stock market remains to be seen.
All right, here's a money issue. Consumer spending rising the most in nearly 6 years. Okay, that would seem to be good. However, the United States showing gains in labor force participation over the past 15 years. They're the only country that hasn't out of the big countries. We haven't shown any gains. How do you explain the two of those?
A lot of that is explained through demographics. Now, I've written written articles in my publication, Financial Intelligence Report, about this before. A lot of it has to do with the baby boom generation. The boomer generation is slowly, hitting retirement age or retiring early, and this is a very large component of the American population. As those people leave the population, it creates this sort of statistical effect of reduced labor force participation. So that's sort of a key element to keep in mind. Other countries, yes, had baby booms, but not quite to the extent that the United States did as the main victor out of World War II.
All right, 60 seconds. New York City's Department of Consumer Affairs has gone after Whole Foods. An investigation found that they have overcharged for prepackaged foods. Hey, I got to be honest. I go to Whole Foods. I love it. But sometimes you turn it over, you look at the price, you go, really? I mean, it's not like this shocks anybody here.
Well, in this case, Whole Foods is, the charge here is that they were using weighting systems that essentially were incorrect. And so, when you put a hunk of meat or, lunch meat on the scale, it's showing up in an improper way, and therefore the calculations are off. But Whole Foods, they're having problems. The stock's down around 25% over the past 10, 12 months or so. And a lot of it has to do with that perception about they're having very high price, premium price foods, and therefore people are shopping elsewhere. Kroger is one that has really done this correctly and are in many cases stealing customers from Whole Foods.
Careful, Whole Foods. The Targets and Walmarts and Krogers of the world are coming for you. By the way, if you want to find out more of what's happening, go to Newsmax.com, click on the Finance tab. Jeff Yastine and the entire group will be there, and they will let you know exactly what's happening 24/7. Jeff, always a pleasure, my friend. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, coming up next, the News Call panel sits in. Let's get to it. Gay marriage is the law of the land. Fire it up. We'll continue on MidPoint.